Hello everyone, this is Mr. Rio with another video tutorial. In this case we continue working on making a maze game using Scratch 3.0, and this is video part 5. On our previous video we worked on how to change the appearance of these apples so that it gives a visual effect of the apples being appearing and disappearing at different moments. And we also added our portal, which was the result of collecting our items in the game. Now we're gonna continue working on how to make every item from level 1 disappear and then have our next elements for level 2. So here in the portal, when we have this particular script that says when I receive level 2 for whatever height, we need this maze to hide, because we're not going to need it anymore. We need this apple to hide and possibly Gobo to hide if we want a different main character for our game. If we want to keep this character, we could either continue using this or we could duplicate this character, this sprite, for our level 2. Now let's just take this specific script, drag it here in the maze. Now we let go. We drag again to the apple and we let go. Now we go to the second apple and we let go. Now we drag to the third apple. Whoops. We let go. And now we drag to the fourth apple and we let go. So let's test that. So when I work on my game, I should see that after I collect the 4 apples, the portal should show up right away. Alright, I'm almost done. There we go. We have 4. The variable collect 1 disappear after I collected the 4 items. And now we have the star, which is my portal, and when I touch it, everything should disappear, just as it just happened. Right? Let me click the green flag so we have everything back. Alright. Now, if we see, this game seems to be very easy. So the purpose of this particular video is to teach you how to add some bad guys into this maze. So the first thing I'll do is to go to the library. Let's go to the library and look for any item or look for any character that you would like to use as a bad guy. I think I'll use this crap right here. So as we already know, sometimes sprites come up and they're too big. So we need to change their size to something reasonable for this game. So let's try first 50, which is half of the size, and see how big it is. This is still too big. So let's change it then to 30. Now this is better. Now don't worry about the size of all of these items, because when you have the game full screen right here, you will notice that everything looks much better. Everything looks bigger. So every player can see every item very clearly. But as you program your game, you can still use this view. Now, this little crab over here is going to be moving from left to right, preventing our main character to go through easily and catch the apple right here. So how are we going to do that? Simple. We're first going to work on the location of this particular fellow. We're going to have first the green flag, then we're going to go to looks, in looks we're going to have hide, then the show, then go to front, then we're going to go to motion, and we're going to add the coordinates right here. We make sure that the numbers we have match the numbers we have over here. So we have negative 119 and negative 79, which are the same numbers I have in my coordinates right here. Right after that, we're going to go to control, and we're going to go to forever. Inside this forever, we're going to add some glide blocks. So we're going to go to motion. Then we use this glide block in here. And what this is going to do is that this is going to have the object move from here to another position. So before we add the second glide, we take our character and we move it to the spot where we want this object to be. Now I take the other glide and put it in. As I see, now my crab is moving from left to right in that particular space. That's nice, right? Okay, now let's work on the visual effects of this particular bad guy. So let's go to custom. This particular sprite brings two customs, where he climbs and unclams. So I'm gonna use this for some visual effects. If your sprite does not have any custom, you can actually go and modify your sprite as you wish. On a separate video, we will be teaching you how to change the appearance of your sprite so that you can create your own customs and still show some kind of motion for your sprite, so that at least it gives the appearance that they are alive. In the meantime, let's just use this fellow over here, and what we're going to do is something as similar as to what we did for the apple. So we're going to go over here and we're going to go to the next custom. We're going to do that. We're going to drag this and we're going to go to the crab, and now we click on the crab to get that specific coding. And now we're going to just remove the pick random. We're going to change the number to 0.5, and this is what the little crab is going to be doing, opening and closing the claws right here. Right now, if we add that, it's going to be moving right there. See that? Let me put it full screen now. See what he's doing? Alright, but so far if I actually move and go through him, nothing happens. See, he's doing nothing to Gobo. So let's just add some interaction that it tells the computer, oh, when this crab touches my main character, something is going to happen. And this is what is going to happen. Every time it touches my main character, it's going to send it back to square one. So he will have to go through all this distance again to pass this specific obstacle. So I will have again the green flag to work on that interaction, or if you want, instead of doing the green flag, you could use already any of the different interactions you have in your previous blocks that you have created. So for example, I can drag this one from the first apple, drag it all the way to the crab. Now I click on the crab and I have this. This is already a script that works the interaction between one object and the other, and I can have that whenever or whatever this crab touches Gobo, it will broadcast a different message. And now go to new message and I will type back 1. Back because I want my main character to go back every time he touches any of these characters, but I also add 1 so that I know that this back 1 is for level 1. Now I go to Gobo. In the script I will add that whenever I receive back 1, Gobo will go to the same coordinates where he is at when he begins the game. I make sure that those coordinates are the same. It says -99 and 160. negative 199 and 160. So now when I start the game, if Gobo is not careful and he touches the crab, oops, you see he goes all the way back. So that crab now is protecting the apple, and it's not that easy for Gobo to collect it. He will have to wait until he has a chance to go there. And that makes the game a little bit more challenging now for the player. Now, as you notice, probably my crab is not really giving any space for Gobo to collect the apple. Well, I almost do it over there. But the idea is not to make the game impossible. So what do? To prevent things like that to happen, there are some few things we can do. One of the things we can do is to go to the crab and give some time for the crab to go from one spot to the next one and wait some few seconds. So I will go to control, and in control I can have a wait 1 second in between. And then I will go to the operator and put a pick random, and in this pick random we're gonna have between 0 seconds to probably 3. That is going to give probably more time for Gobo to be able to go get the apple. It looks like we need to actually do that. Probably down here. That will be better, don't you think? Because now it's going to stay on that side for a little while before it goes. And now Go has a chance to collect the apple, and he still has to find a way to get out of there. And now he has to go through. Oops. Let me see if Go can actually go through this. Because if he cannot do that, then there's probably something else we need to do. There you go. So now Gobo can do the same thing over here. Alright. So to make the rest of the game interesting right here for level 1, we're going to duplicate this crab. I'm going to make that crab be also in other spots, protecting the other apples. So for that, we're going to right click on the crab. We're going to duplicate and make a second enemy. And now this little crab over here is going to be protecting the apple that shows up over here. He could actually be protecting that one and this one at the same time, and I can have him moving from here to here. So I'm going to have him right here. See the coordinates now, which is negative 15. I change it to negative 15 and negative 12. So negative 12. And I do the same thing here in the first glide. Negative 15 and negative 12. Since this crab is going to be traveling a longer distance, it is not necessary to have the pick random. So I will take this out. We'll leave it right here just in case. But I don't think it's going to be necessary. Now that I move this back over here, I see the new coordinates, which is 110 for x. So I do 110, and y is going to be negative 9. Negative 9. So if we see that, this graph is going to be moving from left to right, and that will give a fair chance for Gobo to be able to capture the other two apples, the one that I have down here and the apple up here. And now we're going to do one last grab. So let's just right click and duplicate. Alright, and now that we have our last bad guy, this crab over here, what we're going to do is that we're going to take this guy, and this guy is going to move from here to here, and we're gonna add this weight pick random right here, bottom. Alright, let me just stop that for a second. Alright, let me find him again. It's this guy over here. We're gonna place him down here. Now he has some new coordinates, which is 203. So we need to change that right here. So we have 203, and then we have negative 84 for negative 84. So we change those numbers down here as well. 203 and negative 84. And now we're gonna place him in his new position, which is here, and that new coordinate will be 114 and negative 85. Negative 85. So he's gonna be behaving kind of like this. There we go. Now there is one thing we still have to add to this scraps, which is this script that says that when I receive level 2 for whatever height. So we drag this, we take it to the first bad guy, now we drag it again, send it to the second bad guy, and then we finally drag it again and send it to the third bad guy. Now if we check each one of them, we have the script that says that whenever they receive level 2, they will hide forever. And with that, we finish level 1. And we're just gonna work on the transition for level 2. For the transition of level 2, what we need is just to have another maze, for example, if you want your second level to be of a maze. So I will go, let's go to Google, and in Google we'll just type maze PNG, and we're gonna look again for another maze that we can use for level 2. Remember not to select any that has already a checked background. It is not transparent. We have already used this maze, so we can possibly use this one instead. So let's use this one. So when I click on that one, this one, if I'm lucky, I will have a transparent background immediately, because here we see that the background was white, and once I open it here, the background disappeared and I have a transparent background. That's a good sign. But to make sure that we have that, we're going to right click and go to open image in new tab. Now we go check, and you can see that the image actually is black and the background is also black. That's a good sign, because that shows that this particular maze is going to have a transparent background. I will save the image. I'm going to save it in pictures, and in pictures I'm going to name it maze 2, maze 2, and I will click save. Now we'll go back to my Scratch project. I will go to the sprite section, and I will upload the sprite. I go to pictures. In pictures I type maze 2, and I click open file right there. So I open the file. Now the file is together with everything else. So what we need to do is to tell the computer we don't want the maze 2 to show up in level 1. But before that happens, let's just work on the actual size of the maze. Let's first start by clicking this equal sign so it takes up the entire space. Then we get the eraser. We erase what we don't need from the maze, which is the starting and the ending point. Now we go here to the select tool, and with the select tool we're going to select the maze again, and we're going to make the maze bigger. we're gonna restructure the maze right here, rescale it. Now let me change the tool so it applies the change. There we go. Now we go to code, we go to events. In events we go to the green flag, and in the green flag then we tell the computer that we don't want this maze to show for level 2, so we only have hide. When you click the green flag, just hide, and then this maze is gonna hide. But when you receive level 2, when I receive level 2, then this is going to actually work. So we're going to have hide, then show, go to front, then we go to motion, we add the block for the coordinates, and again we change it to 0 and 0 to align it center. So when we start the game, now we have Gobo right here. So let's check if actually after moving from level 1 to level 2, if everything else disappears and now we have the second maze showing up. So let me drag with the mouse Gobo right here. So let's collect the first apple. There we go, we have the first apple. Now I'm gonna take Gobo to the second apple. Then I take Gobo to the third apple. And finally I take Gobo to the fourth apple. Now the portal shows up. So now we'll take Gobo down here so that he can touch the portal and see if the portal actually works. There we go. So once we touch the portal, you notice that all of the other items for level 1 have disappeared, and we still have Gobo on the map, but we have the new maze. All we got to do now is to decide whether we want Gobo to be in level 2 or replace Gobo by a new character. If we want to keep Gobo in the second maze, all we got to do is just tell the computer where we want Gobo to be when he gets to level 2. So I will take Gobo and I will drag Gobo to this point, and now here I will actually tell the computer that when I receive level 2, this is what you want the computer to do. You want to forever, and let's just right click this forever, and let's take this down. Let's take it all the way down right here, and before we do anything here, I will just go to motion, go place this right here in between, and then press it right here. And now I will change, instead of maze, I will change all the maze to maze 2. Whoops. Maze 2. This one as well. Maze 2. This one to maze 2. And the last one to maze 2. What that will do is that will prevent Gobo from going through the walls in maze 2, just like it did for maze 1. As you see, Gobo cannot go through the walls.